Hello and welcome to the 30k channel, a channel dedicated to the game set in the Horus Heresy. I'm your host, David Brains. And look who I've got today. We've got returning favourite Joseph Fabian.
Hello.
And we've got Tom.
Hello.
Haven't seen Tom for a really long time. I think it was November 2016, wasn't it?
Yeah, a long time ago.
A while ago.
Long time ago. But let's remind ourselves, the last time we saw you both together, you were on the channel, you played Emperor's Children,
Yes.
World Eaters.
Mm-hmm. Different army.
Yeah. But really great. You know, it's really hard for me to believe that we've been going since, well, probably a little bit before November, but November 2016, and we April 2019?
Yeah.
Crazy times. So thank you so much for making your way here. I know Tom has come quite a long way. You've come from Hereford this morning.
Yep.
So he's put some good time in. And Joe, you're Norwich way, aren't you now?
Yep.
Change of location for you, but really great. And we've got two really, really lovely armies for you today. Raven Guard World Eaters. I didn't really know you had Raven Guard, Tom, to be fair.
Yeah, I really just hide in the shadows with them and pop out heresy events and get tabled in one turn. Pretty much, that's what happens with my Raven Guard at the moment.
Oh, God. And Joe, a totally repainted army for you, really, since the last time we saw you, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've just done some of these, but there's a couple of additions here and there. You little bits and bobs.
Yeah. So it's really nice. And you've got a Carbidus with you as well now.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we'll see how it goes. Never used it.
Never used it. Looking forward to it.
Be all right.
So it's worth mentioning as well, we are in the new venue, I guess, or studio, whatever you want to call it. It's a little bit out of the way. So for those of you that have been on the channel, we were based in Peterborough, and now we moved out to a little village just outside of Huntingdon or St Neots. So it's still on the A1, but it's a little bit closer south than it was to Peterborough. Was it okay to find? Not too hard, was it?
It's fine, yeah.
Fair enough, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Good stuff. It's a little bit out of the way, and it's on like a private house. So lots of changes on the channel coming very soon. So this is the first game in the new studio, and it's really lovely to have these two guys back. So really pleased about that. Now let's talk about the game. What we've got, Tom?
So what we have here is a decapitation strike themed Raven Guard. So they're all themed about Istvan 5, running away from that and trying to strike at traitor elements as they try to escape. That's why there's no tanks. It's just infantry and 2 supporting dreadnoughts.
Yeah, and the game is based on Istvan 5, is that right?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So on Istvan 5, spoilers, the Loyalists were massacred, the legions of the Iron Hands, Salamanders and Raven Guard, by 8 traitor legions, one of which was the World Eaters.
Oh, yeah.
And on this, Corax made his escape and is trying to escape the drop site massacre. And as part of this, Angron is chasing him down, as sent by Horus. And this is a strike force sent by Corax to try and hold off the World Eaters' advance so they can try and make to the ships.
Yeah.
So this is why I think Joe's force is themed very Vanguard assaulty.
Yeah, that's it. I know we're in termites, but I don't think they're quite quick in the ground. So I've got a little squad of Assault Marines who kind of do the scouting bit, maybe lure the Raven Guard in. Raven Guard come down, and then we counter strike, I guess, is the best way to put it.
It's going to be a really interesting game. We've got a 6x4 as normal, of course, but there's a lot of line of sight blocking terrain. Although weapons aren't going to be too much of a factor in this game because you're both close combat, aren't you?
That's right.
Yes.
Hacking.
Yeah. So the mission for today is we're going to play Dawn of War and we're going to play Blood Feud. And I think it's fairly obvious that both gents have chosen infantry for their Blood Feud targets. And we're hoping that the game is going to produce like lots of pockets of little games, you know, like a Raven Guard Assault Squad versus the Terminators or something, you know. And you've got you can really react really quickly to each other, can't you?
Yeah.
Because you've got the mobility from each force.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That's the plan.
But Joseph, your deployment it's quite small, is that right?
Yeah, 1 unit.
Yeah.
All the rest is kind of, well, the idea being is like almost a counter deployment. You know, the idea of having all these elements that can deep strike is you can put them where you want them.
Yeah. And Tom, your army is really, really fast, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, you've got almost every unit can move 12 and then run as well. And I think there's no tanks to slow me down, but just going to see if chain swords can beat chain axes.
No.
No.
Oh, dear.
But it's going to be really interesting to see those Mordathan. You've got plasma on all of them Mordathan, which will be really interesting. So that might peel out some of the special units. Are they plasma or melted?
Yeah,
no, they
all
are
combi
plasma.
yeah.
Yeah. And you've got the beast with
Yeah,
these.
the Leviathan, and I've stopped running Armoured Ceramite because every time I put Armoured Ceramite on, Multi-Melter hits, someone rolls a 6, they pen it, they don't even mind, and then they roll a 5 or a 6.
Yeah.
And actually, sometimes they roll a 4 and it just gets immobilised and you just stood there for an entire game.
Heartbreaking.
It really is, especially because I used to just run Snippy Claw and Drill, so you just stand there going, hi, like, wavy hands.
He hasn't got Phosphex, has he?
No, because the Raven Guard didn't believe in Phosphex. They were good boys.
Good man. See, that's good. That's an admirable effort, that.
Yeah, really, never ever has come back to bite me being a good boy. So,
He's playing to the fluff.
yeah, fluff.
Commend him for that. I'm really looking forward to seeing these termites in action. We did see them with your last game against your brother Ben,
Yeah,
didn't we?
right, yeah.
And they proved quite good, I think.
Yeah.
You put your units where they needed to be.
That's it. And like I say, I think I said before, you can use them to block people, move, funnel people.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're all right. I've got a couple of combi bolters, which are the most powerful weapons in the game.
Yeah.
You know, like the one on the Rhino. That one shot.
It's all wounds, isn't it?
Yeah.
All wounds. 3s to hit, 4s to wounds. You're only on a save after that, so it's all good. The battlefield we've got today is we're fighting in sort of I don't know, like an outpost or a station or something, but bombed out buildings. You know, this planet has been ravaged by a war between these legions, so it's a little bit bombed out. But it's going to be really interesting to see how the models and the armies interact with all the terrain. There's quite a lot on the board, so there's going to be a lot of jumping over stuff and moving through stuff. So we're looking forward to that, gents. I'm looking forward to this game. I say it every time, but I genuinely am. We're going to go into their list, work out exactly what they've taken, and then we'll see at the beginning of turn 1.
Brilliant.
2,500 points of World Eaters, running the Berserker Assault Rite of War, and the Warlord has the Master and Vanguard Warlord trait. HQ for the World Eaters. They've got a Praetor, who's in Cataphracte armor with digital lasers. He's got a master-crafted Paragon Blade. He is accompanied by a Command Squad bodyguard. So there's a Standard Bearer with a Combi Bolter and Power Fist, and there's 3 Space Marines with him. One with a Chain Fist and Plasma Blaster, one with a Combi Bolter and Thunder Hammer, and another one with a Combi Bolter and Thunder Hammer. Second HQ for the World Eaters, they have a Legion Champion with a refractor field. He's got Artificer armor, Paragon Blade, and a Power Fist. World Eaters Elites, they have a unit of Red Butchers. The Devoured has Chain Fist and a Thunder Hammer, and they are coming down in an Anvilis Assault. World Eater Troops, there's a Breacher Squad with the 10 Breachers. They have Melter Bombs, and the Sergeant has Artificer armor and a Power Fist. 2 identical tactical squads. There's 10 Marines, all with chain axes and bolt pistols, and the Sergeants have Artificer armor, Melter Bombs, and a K-Dare weapon. A 20-man assault squad, all with Melter Bombs, and the Sergeant has Artificer armor and a Power Fist. World Eaters Fast Attack, 3 Termites with Combi Bolters. 2 of them are carrying the tactical squads, and 1 of them is carrying the Breacher Squad. The World Eaters Heavy Support is a Charybdis Drop Pod, and that will be carrying the Praetor and his Terminator Command Squad.
2,500 points of Raven Guard. The Rite of War is Decapitation Strike. The Warlord trait is Child of Terror. HQ for the Raven Guard is Praetor Anthony. He's equipped with Artificer Armor, Digital Lasers, an Iron Halo, a Jump Pack, Paragon Blade, and Power Fist. Next to him is Chaplain Dave in Artificer Armor, using a Power Maul as his Crozius Arcanum, a Jump Pack, and a Refractor Field. The first 2 Elites choices for the Raven Guard are Mordathan Strike Squads, identically armed with Combi Plasma. The third Elites choice for the Raven Guard is a Contemptor Dreadnought, with a Dreadnought close combat weapon Chain Fist with a Plasma Blaster built in, and a Multi-Melter. The final Elites choice for the Raven Guard are 3 Apothecaries and an Apothecarian detachment. Troops choices for the Raven Guard are 3 identical units of 16-man Assault Squad. The Assault Sergeant has Artificer armor and a pair of Raven's Talons. For the Raven Guard, fast attack choice, 8 Dat Fury, led by a Chooser of the Slain, with a Dab Hands. Heavy support choice, for the Raven Guard Legion is the Leviathan Siege Dreadnought with Gravflux Bombard, a Siege Drill, and 2 Twin-Link Volkite Cavaliers.
Tom, Joseph, we're deployed and ready to go, yes?
Yep.
There's a lot of infantry on the table.
Yeah, I think about 135. Myself with 71.
Yeah,
Joe with 64.
that is absolutely huge. Now, Joe, you're going first, is that right?
Yes. I lost the dice roll and Tom decided to go second. Why is that, Tom?
Because we've stumbled upon the Raven Guard have stumbled upon the World Eaters scout force, and they think they're going to call in a trap on the Raven Guard and deploy lots of people and kill us all. But really, the Raven Guard have sensed this. It's going to be a trap within a trap.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
So, we're good to go.
Good luck.
World Eaters turn 1 movement. The 2 termites popped up. One of them scattered with the Breacher squad in. The Breachers got out and using their termite for cover. The other termite came up. The troops came out in cover. Hopefully give them some sort of save. See how they get on with that Leviathan sat there. The Charybdis came down in zoom mode because we don't want to risk getting surrounded and blown up. We elected not to use his flames this turn because I don't think it was worth it personally with distances. And the assault squad poke their head around the corner, see what's going on, and get ready to get some stuff chain axe to death. World Eaters turn 1 shooting. Combine bolter fire from the Breachers and the termite into the Raven Guard assault squad. 6 bolters within range and could see. 2 hit, no wounds. Combine fire from the tactical squad and the termite into the assault squad. It was 6 shots, 3 hits, 2 wounds, and both saved. 3 of the Carbidus launchers took some pot shots at the assault squad. 6 of the shots hit, 5 of them wounded, but he saved all of them. The 2 other launchers took their 4 shots at the assault squad. 4 hits, 4 wounds, 4 saves. End of the World Eaters turn 1. We've done our deployment. We're getting in there. We're shaping the battlefield. We basically came down most of the way we wanted to come down. Our shooting was ineffective in every way because we're busy polishing our chain axes, I think. So let's see what the Raven Guard can do.
Raven Guard turn 1 movement. Assault Squad 1 move towards the Breachers looking for a cheeky charge. The Leviathan Dreadnought then step forward. He's looking to get an explosion of grav off on them and then hopefully charge some of those units of World Eaters. The second assault squad moved up just to be a nice meat shield for the juicy contents of the Charybdis. Praetor, Anthony joined the Dark Furies behind him. The 2 squads of Mordathan have moved up. Assault Squad 3 have moved up, hoping for a long bomb, 7-inch charge into the World Eaters assault squad. Raven Guard, turn 1 shooting. Assault Squad 1 shot into the Breachers. 7 hits, 2 wounds, all saved. The Liam the Leviathan shot into the tactical squad with the Grav. It killed 1, and the Meltgun also unloaded into the squad, killed 1, and the Grav blast hit the termite, destroying a weapon and putting 2 hull points of damage on it. Assault Squad 2 launched a cheeky crack grenade against the flying Charybdis. They hit, but failed to scratch the armour, so did no damage. The Dreadnought, emboldened by their brothers, shot up with a multi-melter, missed, shot with a plasma blaster in his fist, he got hot twice, and suffered 2 glancing hits of damage for 2 hull points. Turn 1 Raven Guard assault phase. tried the cheeky charge by Assault Squad 3 into the World Eaters Assault Squad, lost a man to Overwatch, which changed the charge distance to an 8-inch. I rolled a 7 and failed. Liam the Leviathan charged the tactical squad that he'd shot at in the previous shooting phase. He made the charge, 2 Hammer of Wrath, no wounds. Assault Squad 1 disordered charged into the Breachers and the Termite. The Breachers overwatched, and the Apothecary did his job, and no models were lost. Liam the Leviathan combat against the World Eaters tactical squad, 4 attacks, 2 hit, 2 squished. The World Eaters held their morale. The Raven Guard combat between the Assault Squad 1 and the Breachers. They made it into combat, and the Assault Squad Sergeant declared a challenge, which was meekly taken up by the Breachers Squad Sergeant.
The Breacher Sergeant's on +1 initiative, bringing initiative 5 because of the Meteor Hammer. So he struck down with his 2 hits. He hit twice. He did one. No, he didn't even get a wound. He didn't even get a wound. Anything but a 1. He rolled a 1. So yeah.
The Raven Guard Sergeant in the challenge stepped up. He only had 3 attacks, lost 1 because of the disordered charge. He hit 3 times thanks to the mastercrafted Raven's Talons. He did 2 wounds, of which the World Eaters Sergeant lost 1. The Apothecary didn't get to him in time, and he snuffed it. Raven Guard Assault Squad struck at initiative 4. They attacked 22 times, of which 12 hit, which resulted in 8 wounds, and all were saved by the World Eaters Breacher Squad.
The Breacher Squad attacked back with 11 attacks. They hit 7 times, did 3 wounds, all of which were saved by the Apothecary.
5 Assault Marines from the Assault Squad struck crack grenades against the Termite. 3 hit, which resulted in 1 penetrating hit. The result was immobilized against the Termite. The results of the combat for the World Eaters were losing by 3, 1 for the wound against the Sergeant in the challenge, and 2 for the penetrating hit. The World Eaters then failed their morale and ran away 10 inches. The Raven Guard could not sweep and are locked in combat with an immobilized Termite. With the Breachers running away, the Raven Guard and myself are really pleased with this. We pulled back an inch from the immobilized Termite. The Leviathan's still locked in combat. Really mixed turn, but happy to get a unit running away. It's always good to see the backsides of World Eaters.
World Eaters turned to movement. The Breachers rallied. They decided they got out of dodge and decided they're ready to take another charge from the Assault Squad, which is currently trying to destroy that Termite. The Termite that could still move, the one that was near the Leviathan, has moved out of the way, hopefully open up some gap for the tactical squad. Another Termite popped up as reinforcements with another tactical squad and the Centurion in it. It did scatter a little bit. It did force the Raven Guard to move back a little bit as it came up underneath them. The Charybdis has decided to deploy its little Terminator squad there. That's the Praetor and his bodyguard. So they're hopefully getting ready to charge the Meat Shield Assault Squad. And at the very end, the Assault Squad have jumped forward after luckily not having to accept the charge next turn. Chain Axe is revving, ready for some combat. World Eaters turn to shooting. The Breachers decided to start off the fireworks by turning around when they rallied, opened up their bolt guns with 12 shots at the Assault Squad. They hit with 4. They're only snapshotting because they just rallied and killed 1 of them. The Termite opened up its rapid firing bolt guns into the Assault Squad, hit with all 4 of them, caused a wound, and that was saved. The middle Termite, with his 1 combi bolter left, decided to shoot at the Mordathan squad, hit them twice, did not cause a wound though. Combined fire from the Termite and his tactical squad that got out was 15 shots at the Assault Squad in front of them. They hit with 8 and they killed 3 of them. The Praetor and his command squad opened up on the Assault Marines with 15 shots in total, including 2 from the Plasma Blaster. 8 shots hit, 1 from the Plasma Blaster. This caused 5 wounds and killed 2 Marines. The Charybdis opened up with 2 of its guns onto each Mordathian squad. One of the squads took a wound and lost a man, but was not pinned, and the other squad shrugged off 1 hit. World Eaters turn to assault. The Praetor and his unit charged at what's left of the assault squad. They did overwatch, but didn't do any damage, luckily. So they made a 7-inch charge easily. The assault squad on the far side declared a charge against the other assault squad that failed them. The assault squad made their charge 5-6 inches. They were overwatched, but there was no damage caused to my men at all. And against the Leviathan, the unit that's against the Leviathan have moved up their 3 inches, which has put the melter bomb from the sergeant just within range. Hopefully he'll still be there to use his bomb. The tactical squad that was in combat with the Leviathan moved up. The Leviathan killed two men, which put me out of combat range, so we couldn't use the melter bomb. We took a leadership test of -2 and passed it. So next turn we might get a melter bomb off. The Praetor goes first in combat with his initiative of 5. He hit 5 times out of his 7 dice, wounded 4 times, and killed 4 men.
Initiative step 4, the Raven Guard Assault Marines, the 4 that were in coherency and could attacked. There was 8 attacks, 4 hit, that resulted in 3 wounds, and Joe luckily saved them all.
Initiative step 1, 2 Thunderhammers and 2 Power Fists, causing 16 hits, hit with 15 of them, and killed 15 of the 6 Marines that were left. And then consolidated 6 inches, have to go towards the closest enemy unit they can hurt, so that moves them into cover up to the Dreadnought. Right, the big combat between the 2 assault squads. The World Eaters charged in, which gave them their rage. So they had 76 attacks in total at initiative step 4. They've done 57 hits and caused 39 wounds. And let's see how the Raven Guard get on.
The Raven Guard Assault Squad resolving the wounds. Out of the 39 wounds, 16 failed their armour saves. The Apothecary was only able to save 4, so 12 in total died. They will get to attack back initiative 4, however. In the challenge between the Raven Guard and World Eater's sergeants, the World Eater was a little girl. The Raven Guard rendered and had 2 more further wounds, so the World Eater's sergeant and 2 more World Eater Assault Marines died. With the remaining Assault Marines from the Raven Guard squad, they attacked 30 times, 14 hits, did 11 wounds, with which the World Eater's player failed only 2. Following the combat results, the Raven Guard lost by 7, leadership 9 down to 2. Need a double 1 to stick around. Oh, that's a fail. So I will be running.
So sweeping advances then.
Mm-hmm.
So the World Eaters on a 6.
6, you still cash because you're initiative 4.
Okay, World Eaters win. The World Eaters having won will now consolidate D6 inches. 3 inches. End of the World Eaters' second turn. I feel it hasn't been a bad turn. This is a game of 2 halves, as they say. On the side with the breaches, we are losing that flank. He's got a lot of. There's a lot of Raven Guard. That Leviathan in there is causing some havoc. Moving across the table, though, the Praetor and his bodyguard did exactly what I thought they would do and destroy the remainders of that assault squad. And the assault squad, the World Eaters assault squad, actually did some damage as well. Finished off the other assault squad, I guess. All in all, I think that's a pretty successful turn. We'll see how the rest of the game goes. It's still a bit of swings and roundabouts, I feel.
Turn 2, Raven Guard movement. The Dark Fury, Chaplain, Praetor squad have conga lined round to look at the World Eaters assault marines. Need to make this charge. We can't have them charging me. The Mordathan have just shuffled up, ready to get some fatal strike combi plasma shots into the command squad. Dreadnought's done a little shimmy, hoping to put some extra shots into them as well. The Mordathan squad in the middle only rolled a 2 for the move through cover, so they just did a very, very tiny shimmy to get some pot shots off. The assault squad and the other side here have moved around, and they're looking to get a disordered charge into both or maybe all 3 units. Turn 2, shooting for the Raven Guard. Started off with Mordathans shooting into the command squad with the Praetor. They used their ability of Fatal Strike, which once per game allows them to reroll hits. After hitting 10 times with the combi plasmas and wounding 10 times, Joe managed to save 6 of the 10 wounds, resulting in 3 command squad Terminators and his standard bearer taking 1 wound. The Contemptor Dreadnought also opened up at the Praetor and the command squad, only with the multi-melter. Did not want to risk getting hot again with the Plasma Blaster. The World Eaters player, Joe, decided to look out, sir, and just made his invulnerable save on the standard bearer, so no wounds dealt. The second Mordathan squad also fatal striked against the Legion Champions tactical squad that had disembarked from the Termite. I could only see 4 of the World Eaters models, so I managed to hit up with 8 shots, wounded 8 times, and Joe failed enough cover saves to leave 4 World Eaters tactical squads dead. The Assault Squad 1 shot into the Breacher squad with 14 bolt pistol shots, of which 10 hit, and then 4 wounded, and Joe saved all of them. Raven Guard turned to assault. Disordered charge made against the 3 units, the Breachers, the Termite, and the Tacticals in combat with the Leviathan. The primary target was the Breachers. We managed to get everyone in and maintain coherency. The next charge was the Dreadnought into the command squad with the Praetor. He managed to make the charge. And the final charge was the Dark Furies into the World Eaters assault squad. The Conga Line did its job and made it into combat. Raven Guard assault squad in the disordered combat. The charge had gone in as Sergeant bellowed a challenge. The World Eaters Sergeant accepted and elected to use his Meteor Hammer.
Yes, his only option, I think. He's running initiative 5 with a Meteor Hammer. He hit once with his 2 attacks and didn't even wound him, so nothing.
The Raven Guard Sergeant responded into the challenge. He hit once, wounded once. The World Eaters player saved his 2+ Artificer save. The Leviathan in the combat struck next, initiative 4, 3 attacks, 2 hits, 2 squished. The next to strike were the 3 Assault Marines in combat with the tactical squad that were locked in combat with the Leviathan. There were 6 attacks, 4 hit, 4 wounds, and all were saved. No damage was done.
The World Eater Apothecary and Tactical Marine struck back with 4 attacks. They hit twice, did 1 wound, which was saved.
The next to strike at initiative 4 were the Apothecary and the 2 Assault Marines locked in combat with the Termite. It was immobilized, so I auto hit. Unfortunately, I didn't even fail to glance it or pen it, and all 3 failed to get their crack grenades off. The Raven Guard Assault Marines next to attack chose the Breachers as their target. The Raven Guard had 18 attacks, 9 hit, 5 wounded, all saved by the Apothecary and the armour of the World Eaters.
The Breachers had 11 attacks back. They wounded with 4 of them, and he saved all but 1, so 1 dead Raven Guard.
And the results of the combat, the World Eaters tacticals engaged with the Leviathan failed their morale. The Leviathan could not catch them, and they ran away towards their lines. The Assault Marines for the Raven Guard are still locked in combat with the Breachers, and the Leviathan consolidated, looking at his next juicy target. The Raven Guard Contemptor locked in combat with the World Eaters Command Squad and the Praetor, hit twice from 4 attacks, wounded twice. The World Eaters player took it on the Praetor. Unfortunately, the World Eaters Praetor passed 1 and failed 1 on the Invul, and as it was double his toughness, was instant death to oblivion.
Yep. Right, yeah. I know everyone's wondering why I took it on the Praetor was because the Praetor couldn't hurt the Contemptor. The Contemptor with only 1 hull point left because you overheated your weapons, didn't you? So the Power Fist on the command squad with the banner, so he's still fearless, saw his leader get smashed down into a little pulp and caused a glancing hit in the Contemptor. It failed his armour, his invulnerable save, and wrecked. Yeah, so not a very good trade-off for me, but we'll take it.
In the ensuing combat between the Dark Furies, Praetor, Chaplain, and the World Eaters Assault Squad, the Praetor stepped up first. He had 7 attacks on the charge. He hit 4 times, and he wounded 4 times with an AP2 Paragon Blade. 4 dead World Eaters Assault Squad. Chaplain Dave was next to strike with his Crozier Arcane and Power Maul. He hit 5 times with his 5 attacks. He wounded 5 times, and the World Eaters made all their saves. The rest of the Dark Furies attacked into that combat. 20 attacks, of which 10 hit, and all 10 wounded. At AP3, the World Eaters all died. And then they consolidated 2 inches. End of turn 2 for the Raven Guard. It's really ebbed and flowed, this game. I'm a bit frustrated that I'm not managing to finish some of the units off my left flank, but the Leviathan being free and out of combat is very good. The hero so far is probably the Dreadnought, mushing the Praetor, and the Dark Furies being free now I'm in a comfortable place. I'm just worried about some potential butchers arriving in turn 3.
World Eaters turn 3 movement. That was a very successful phase by the Raven Guard. I've actually had to do some good thinking. You should never make a World Eater player think. It's not fair. So what I've decided in the end is the units on the Breacher squad still in combat can't do anything. The 3-men tactical squad that's left, they rallied, they're stood there, they can't do a lot. The Termite is still immobilized. In front of the Leviathan, there's a Termite. He's sat there for now, hopefully planning to shoot the what they call Mordethian, is it? Mordethian. The Termite further along from him, he has turned around and he is going for the Mordethian as well. The squad with the champion in, I've seen how hard those Dark Furies are, how brutally they are in combat. So they've decided that they're going to turn around and just have a go at charging them. Why not? When in doubt, charge. The Charybdis did move over and do a flame attack to no avail, didn't cause any wounds or anything. And the one remaining Terminator bodyguard, the Ancient with his fearless banner, he's decided he's going to go have a go at the Dark Furies too. So let's see how it goes. World Eaters turn 3 shooting. We're kicking this off with all 3 Termites offloading all their bolt gun fire into the Mordethian. They had 7 shots, all hit, did 5 wounds, and he failed 3 of them. So it's 3 dead Mordethian.
As a result of the shooting, the Mordethian were required to take a morale test. Unfortunately, they failed. The Shade has now run 6 inches back to up towards his own lines.
The Charybdis decided to fire some of his rockets at the, what are they called?
Dark Furies.
The Dark Furies, hoping to knock some out. He hit 3 times and all the wounds were saved, so no damage at all. The Terminator Ancient decided to shoot his combo bolt on his fist at the Dark Furies. He hit twice, did 1 wound, and it was saved. World Eaters turn 3 assault. The Ancient decided to charge in. He made his charge, smashed into the Dark Furies, and the other tactical squad with the champion in also made their charge into Dark Furies. So we're all in combat with the Dark Furies now. Combat between the assault squad and the World Eater Breachers. The Breachers had 9 attacks. They hit with 3 and didn't do any wounds whatsoever. The sergeant of the Raven Guard Assault Marines did declare a challenge, which I could have only accepted with my apothecary. The World Eater's apothecary chose not to accept it. It's not worth the risk.
Initiative 4, the Raven Guard sergeant struck back. He did 3 hits, 2 wounded, and the apothecary was unable to save one of the World Eaters. 1 World Eater's breacher died. The Raven Guard struck back at Initiative 4, 22 attacks, 13 hit, 8 wounds, and unfortunately the World Eaters player failed 4 armor saves and then 4 feel no pains.
Yeah.
So lost combat. Now will require a leadership test at -5. With the morale check forced on by the losing of the combat, the World Eaters failed and unfortunately were swept down by the Raven Guard Assault Marines. So no more Breacher squad.
The combat between the World Eaters Tactical Squad and the Dark Furies, the World Eater champion, Initiative 5, declared a challenge which was accepted by the Choose of the Slain. At Initiative 5, he had 6 attacks, which all hit. He wounded with all 6 with his Paragon Blade, and 3 saves were made. The World Eater Sergeant, going at Initiative 5 with his Meteor Hammer, had 4 attacks. He did 2 wounds, and the Chaplain failed 1 wound, causing a wound.
The Praetor then struck next at Initiative 5 against the Terminator Ancient, using his Paragon Blade. He had 6 attacks, 6 hit, 5 wounded, and unfortunately the Terminator Ancient failed all the saves and was mercilessly cut to pieces.
Yeah.
Chaplain Dave was next to strike in Initiative 5. He struck with 4 attacks, 3 hit, 3 wounded, and the World Eaters tacticals all saved.
The Tactical Squad, going next at Initiative 4, had 20 attacks. They did 15 wounds and killed 2 Dark Furies.
Raven Guard return assault Initiative 4. The Dark Furies struck with 15 attacks, 10 hit, with 8 wounds normally and 2 rends. Joe managed to save almost all of them, but his sergeant and 5 tactical marines died, leaving his apothecary and legion champion. The apothecary then struck with his chainsword, doing with 3 hits, 1 wound. The Apothecary rolled a 1 for the arm save and a 1 for the feel no pain. The Legion champion then was down by leadership 3 and passed his morale, so we're locked in combat.
End of World Eaters turn 3. It's not looking good. We're kind of on our back foot. The champion still being alive is a bit of a bonus. Hopefully he can do a bit more damage, maybe get some kill points in there. Other than that, the Red Butchers haven't turned up. They will be turning up in turn 4, but it might be too late. So let's see how the Raven Guard do in their turn.
Raven Guard turn 3 movement. The sole remaining Mordaithan Shade rallied. On the left flank, the Assault Squad moved to within 1 inch of the World Eaters tactical. Liam the Leviathan moved through cover to give the Termite a good kick up the arse. And the Mordaithan squad in the middle moved up 6 inches to assault the Termite with Kreg grenades. And the Dark Furies are still locked in combat with the Legion champion. Raven Guard turn 3 shooting. Liam the Leviathan opened up with just the melter gun. He decided to not grab the Termite. Too dangerous as it could backwash in his face. He hit, he penned, he did not get an explode result, so the Termite is now destroyed and wrecked. The Mordaithan elected to shoot at the rear of the Termite. The Shade threw a crack grenade, and 3 of them fired their bolt pistols, only scratching the paintwork, no damage done. The Assault Marines opened up at the tacticals. The Sergeant threw a crack grenade, which did no damage, and then 14 Assault Squads used their bolt pistols. They did 14 shots, all 14 hit, 7 wounds, and only 1 failed save by the World Eaters. Raven Guard, turn 3 assault phase. The Mordaithan charged the rear of the Termite successfully, and the Assault Squad charged the World Eaters tacticals over there. The Mordaithan, in combat with the Termite, elected not to use crack grenades. They had 20 attacks, 16 hit, and they got 4 glances with their combat blades. Raven Guard Assault Marines in combat with the World Eaters. The challenge was issued by the Raven Guard Sergeant, which was accepted by the World Eaters Sergeant. The World Eaters is using a Meteor Hammer, so it goes at I5.
And initiative 5, he's got his Meteor Hammer, so he's 2 attacks, hit twice, wounded once, and armor was saved, so no damage done.
The Raven Guard Sergeant in the challenge at I4 had 4 attacks, 2 hit, 2 wounds, both AP3, but the World Eater Sergeant saved both with his 2+ armor save. Raven Guard Assault Squad Initiative 4 attacked back. They had 42 attacks, 31 hit, 24 wounds, and only 1 failed save by the Apothecary. At the combat results, even after the Apothecary had saved off everything and only the Sergeant was left, on a leadership test of 8, the World Eater player rolled a 9. He managed to escape the sweeping advances of the Raven Guard. He's run away 5 inches back towards Angren's lair. In the combat between the Legion Champion, the Dark Furies, the Praetor and the Chaplain, the Legion Champion issued a challenge. The Praetor Anthony stepped up. He proceeded to have 6 attacks, 3 hit, 3 wounds. The World Eaters Legion Champion failed all 3 his refractor field saves and snuffed it. The Legion Champion did get to strike back at Initiative 5.
Failed every single attack. So the champion had 4 attacks. He failed to hit with all, even though he had a mask-off weapon, and died.
After winning the combat, the Dark Furies consolidated 3 inches, looking to charge the Charybdis on another turn. And the turn summary, I think it swung massively in favour of the Raven Guard, taking out termites, making that 1 sole tactical marine play, and only having the Charybdis, a termite, and some Red Butchers turning up. Got to see what dice says, but I think I've got it in the bag.
Yeah. World Eaters turn 4 movement. Pretty quick phase at the moment. The Red Butchers have turned up in their drop pod, so I've got plans for them. The Charybdis did move over the Dark Furies, did its flame attack to no avail, didn't do anything. And the Sergeant of the Tactical Squad decided to run away again. So he ran 9 inches, he's at the edge of the board. At best, he can draw the attention of the Assault Squad towards him, away from the Butchers. World Eaters, turn 4, shooting. The Charybdis fired 2 salvos of its missiles at the single Mordethian. 4 hit, 3 wounds, and 3 were saved, so no damage there. He also fired 1 bank of missiles at the Dark Furies with 2 hits, 2 wounds, and 2 saves. The sole surviving termite took 4 shots at the assault squad. He hit 4 times and didn't wound once.
Raven Guard, turn 4, movement. The Assault Marines moved up, hoping to get some bolt pistol shots off against the lone sergeant. If I fail that, charge him. Lyn the Leviathan trudged through cover 5 inches to try and hopefully get some pot shots off at the Dreadclaw. The Soul Mordathan just trudged 6 inches through the Black Sands, trying to just get into position to see what his mates are doing. The squad of 5 Mordathan trudged 2 inches to try and get closer to the Charybdis, and the Dark Furies zoomed over and are in position to assault the Charybdis. Turn 4 shooting for the Raven Guard. The Raven Guard Praetor lobbed up a crack grenade at the Charybdis. He hit, he glanced. The jink was made by the Charybdis. Lyn the Leviathan opened up at the Dreadclaw housing the Red Butchers. The melter gun shot. It hit. It penetrated. The Dreadclaw managed to jink it. He then opened up with the Grav Flux Bombard. This managed to not scatter off and hit the target. It then rolled 14 on the armor result. You can't jink as it ignores cover, but unfortunately it only did a shaking result on the penetration table. The Raven Guard Assault Squad shot at the fleeing Tactical Squad Sergeant. There was 12 shots, 11 hits, 6 wounds, and all was saved by his backside armor. Assault phase, turn 4 for the Raven Guard. The Assault Marines made their charge into the Raven World Eater's Tactical Sergeant. Lyn the Leviathan tried an 11-inch long bomb charge. He just failed with a 5. The Mordathan tried to charge the Charybdis, but unfortunately the bits of gravel slowed them down and they failed their charge. But the Dark Furies, the Praetor and the Chaplain just about made it in contact with the Charybdis. The combat between the Praetor, Dark Furies, Chaplain and the Charybdis. The Praetor had 6 attacks with his Power Fist. He hit 5 times, and he did 2 penetrating hits and 2 glancing hits. Penetrating hits immobilized and the weapon destroyed. The Chaplain then opened up with his Power Maul. He got 5 attacks, 5 hits, and got 2 penetrating results. Couldn't blow it up, so it is a wreck. The Raven Guard Assault Squad, after charging into the Sergeant, the World Eater's Sergeant declared a challenge. The Raven Guard Sergeant accepted. The World Eater's Sergeant struck first with his Meteor Hammer, making him initiative 5.
Yeah, he had 2 attacks. He hit twice. I think he did 1 wound, and it was saved. So no damage.
The Raven Guard Sergeant attacked back in the Challenger, initiative 4. Out of the 4 attacks, he managed to hit twice. 2 wounds at AP 3. The World Eater's Sergeant saved both in his 2+ Artificer.
That's right.
The Raven Guard Assault Marines attacked into the Challenge. There was 33 attacks, 16 hit, 8 wounds, and all saved on the 2+. This is a tied combat. Turn 4 summary for the Raven Guard. The Charybdis proved easy as I thought. Praetor Anthony and Chaplain Dave minced it. The Assault Squad combat against the World Eater's Tactical Sergeant, which has been going on for 3 turns across the board, is still going on. His armour is impenetrable, and his stubborn, annoying person at the back there, I just want to mince this World Eater's traitor. Other than that, I've got some Red Butchers in a Dreadclaw that maybe can do something if they ever get out, but for now they're just being cowards inside it.
World Eaters, turn 5. Stuck for decisions. What I've decided to do is the Red Butchers have gone flying, zooming in their ambulance towards the Assault Squad. Now, the reason I've done this is that Assault Squad is going to win that combat this turn. It's only fluke that the Sergeant's not dead yet. And from where they are, I think I've got a chance of getting into combat with them next turn, depending where they move. there is a nice juicy target that was placed in front of the Red Butchers, which was the Mordethian. Very tempting, don't get me wrong, but behind the Carbilis is that horrible Dark Fury squad. And if I kill them, which I would do, the Dark Furies would then assault the Red Butchers with a Praetor with 7 or 8 attacks, would destroy them. I could have gone towards the Leviathan, but it's only worth 1 point. It's not really... and he would kill Red Butchers, it's not really worth it. So I think my only tactic is to try and go for that assault squad. So we'll see what the Raven Guard do next turn. World Eaters, turn 5 assault. The Sergeant going first, initiative 5, struck twice with the Meteor Hammer, did 2 wounds on the Raven Guard Sergeant, who passed them both. So nothing happened there, I'm afraid. The brave sergeant died. He just got chopped to pieces by the claws. So as brave as he was, running away twice, he's gone. So all we have left are 5 Red Butchers inside the Ambulus and half of a termite. So we'll see how we get on.
Raven Guard, turn 5, movement phase. The Dark Furies and the Praetor just jumped up to get some style points. The Mordathan have moved out of the cover. The other Mordathan in the back has done a disco dance. Liam the Leviathan has trudged up to try and get a pop shot off Skyfire, the Dreadclaw and the Red Butchers. The Raven Guard Assault Squad, after finally wiping out the stubborn World Eater Sergeant, have looked towards the remaining termite to get some easy victory point there.
Yeah.
Turn 5, Raven Guard shooting. The Assault Marine threw a crack grenade into the termite. It hit. Unfortunately, it didn't glance or pen. The Limb of the Leviathan shot up at the Dreadclaw with a melter gun, then missed due to the wild Skyfire. Turn 5, Raven Guard assault phase. The Raven Guard Assault Marines made the charge into the termite. They attacked with 9 crack grenades. It was immobilized, so I auto-hit. And I got very lucky. I only had 1 pen, 1 glance just to finish it off. Raven Guard, turn 5 review. I think with only having 2 units left on the board by Joe's World Eaters, I think my Assault Marines are going to get munched next turn. Hopefully Liam the Leviathan is in a good place to wrap those up. But all in all, going into the final turn of turn 6, I feel we're in a good place. I'm just hoping the Assault Marines survive.
World Eaters turn 6 movement. Red Butchers have moved across, dropped down, gotten out, and hoping to charge the assault squad. World Eaters turn 6 assault. The Red Butchers charge the assault squad. They did take a wound from Overwatch, which always happens, I guess. But they made it into combat, so they're in there, and let's see what happens. A challenge was issued to the Red Butchers, which the Devourer accepted. He's only running at initiative 1 with his duel with his Chain Fist and Thunderhammer. So the Sergeant got to go first against him and took a wound off of him, which is very nice.
Raven Guard initiative 4 step in the combat. There was 26 attacks by the Assault Marines, 15 hit, 7 wounded, of which the World Eaters player failed 2 of his saves, and then the 2 feel no pain, so 1 Red Butcher died.
Okay, initiative step 1, which is the Red Butcher's turn. There are 3 Butchers left with 5 attacks each, so that's 15 attacks, 14 hit, 11 wounded, and killed 6 Marines. That's not bad going. So we've still got the Devourer to go in his challenge next. After the Devourer had 6 attacks, hit with 6, wounded with 6, and killed with all 6 of them, there were only 3 Assault Marines left, which means he needed to roll a double 1 for leadership tests, which I actually wanted him to do, but no, he had to go and roll high and flee 14 inches. The Butchers have to go towards the closest enemy they can hurt, which is then the Leviathan, which I didn't want to have to do. So, I won't be getting the points for the Assault Squad unless they break again this following turn. And I'm probably going to get minced by a Leviathan. But we'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes.
Raven Guard, turn 6, movement phase. The Assault Marines luckily did rally.
Of course they did.
Yes, they won't be giving any VPs to I think Apothecary Jeff is in the shout for man of the match. And then Liam the Leviathan turned round the corner after seeing his assault squad brothers get slaughtered. He's come round to exact some vengeance in the Emperor's name.
Yeah.
Turn 6, Raven Guard shooting. The only thing really in range to hurt anything was Liam the Leviathan. He opened up with the Grav. He covered through with the blast. It didn't scatter, which took 1 wound off that entire squad. The Melter Gun then killed 1, and the Volkite then did another 3 wounds in total to leave only 1 Red Butcher on 1 wound. Raven Guard, turn 6, assault summary. The Leviathan made it in, unsurprisingly, minced the remaining Red Butcher, who cowered in fear as he was pulped. All that's left of the World Eaters is 1 Dreadclaw. I just want to say it was a great game, ebb and flow. I just want to say thanks for Joe for turning up, and take your toys off, mate.
Then left.
Well, I didn't think it was going to go to turn 6, but holy hell, it went to turn 6, eh?
Yeah, it did.
We made it.
I mean, Joseph, you did a fantastic job the first few turns, and then it kind of went a different way, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of went my way, went the Emperor's way.
We all know this is because you started using my dice, which I microwaved last night especially, and then they all got mixed up, and that's what did it.
There was a lot of mixing of dice at one point because there were so many dice being thrown. It was easier just to pick up the dice pools as we went. But I thought it was absolutely spectacular. So well done, gents. Well done.
Yeah, it was turn 1 and turn 2. I was very squeaky bum time, very nervous, pretty like, if I can make it to turn 3, that's a win. I was trying to take the small victories, and then
could make it to turn 3.
But I think with Joe's Red Butchers not turning up.
Yeah. This is
That was quite a key point. You got really lucky, which, as you just mentioned, you could play really aggressive with the Dark Furies, and they did an absolute job for you, didn't they?
Oh, the Dark Furies! I was lucky playing a non-shooty Legion. Usually, they just get shot off the table first few turns.
Why.
Yeah, I was very fortunate to get that long charge off against the World Eaters Assault Marines and managed to get rid of that because that was 20 or 15 melter bombs, lots of attacks. And also, I think actually the Leviathan on my left flank just kind of bolstered that, so it stopped you putting too much stuff there.
Yeah.
So I think I was very lucky in some of the dice I got given, especially at the end with the Red Butchers.
I mean, the dice in particular, Joe, his armour saves on that lone sergeant.
Oh, what was it 42 and you only failed 1?
Yeah, and then I make 4 saves for Red Butchers and fail all of them.
That's
it's just the way it
swings and roundabouts.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. Let's move on to the scores because they are quite a dramatic shift in points. We'll start with the World Eaters first of all. Now, Joe, you did a great job by killing stuff, but you just couldn't quite finish a couple of units. No. And so in the end, the World Eaters got 5 victory points. Yes. But the Raven Guard...
I'm so annoyed, that's 5 too many. I feel I failed the Raven Guard players here.
Got a whopping 22 victory points. Yeah. That is huge.
Thank you. I've been told that before. No, it was
good.
Well, in November 2016, the previous game,
yes,
I got walloped.
Yeah.
You took all my toys off. But it was
a year and a bit in the making, and Tom finally has his revenge. So
thank you, dice.
But now we're drawn even. Wins and losses. So
well, the Raven Guard are going soon, aren't they? So it might be your next army that we'll see.
Yeah, I think if it flows through the sale, going to somewhere in Ohio. So we'll see.
We'll see. So it's worth mentioning that we were on a Estevan 5.
Yep.
Corax has got away out of the clutches of the Traitor Legion for maybe a few weeks or days. I don't know. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. You've both brought back a unit which you want to talk about. We'll start with Joe.
This is my man of the match. I have a love-hate relationship with him now because I do feel one of the reasons of many of the dice rolls, one of the big key points was not getting my Red Butchers for the first 4 turns or 3 turns. And this is the chap who's supposed to bring them down. But then he was the only thing left on the table at the end. So I can't really think of anybody else other than that sergeant who'd be man of the match. But yeah, this guy's. I just had to bring him just because he's both giving me pain.
Ambulous it is.
Yes.
Ambulous it is. Tom?
I think for myself is Apothecary Jeff. He kept that assault squad on the left flank alive right until the bitter end. Even when the Red Butchers charged in, put on 18, 19 wounds.
Yeah.
He managed to just keep him and 2 others alive, which unfortunately denied some victory points. The World Eaters in their eyes, but I think he more than made his points back, and now he's named. It's called Jeff. So
name.
Yeah, it is a strong name.
Yeah. It's a reliable name, Jeff.
Well, all the named characters survived. Liam the Leviathan, Praetor Anthony, Chaplain Dave, and now Apothecary Jeff.
There you go.
I think holding down what would have been your right, your left, my right, that side at the beginning with that assault squad, and you kept hold of that area constantly.
Yeah.
I tried it and I gave up on that side and went to the other side. But that assault squad, I think we were on turn 4 and 5 or something, and I was like, how many are left then? You go, it's 15. I said, have I only killed one man because of him?
And Jeff feels he's let himself down by letting so many die, really. But he did all throughout the game because you were putting wounds on my sergeants, all the Marines, and the feel no pains he was putting out. His Narthesium is probably worn out.
Yeah, he needs a new one, I reckon.
Yeah, he does.
He did a good job. I think you'll agree that was a really spectacular game. There was lots of toing and froing. There was a lot of carnage in that game. Quite a bit of movement from both forces as well, which was great. And it was really awesome to see all those infantry on the board and a lot of close-up fighting as well. It wasn't just people getting shot off the board. So you put in a stellar game, gents. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you, Joe.
Good work.
You made me think.
there is a photo of Joe on the table, kind of thinking quite hard. But,
you could just see the steam. It was like the cogs were like just, and I'm there going, how has this happened?
The nails are bitten.
Start of turn 2, I was very worried when the command squad, everything was coming out. Oh,
it was good.
Held on.
What a hell of a game for the first game at the new studio. It's a lot more stripped back now. There's less of my stuff in here because I think before there was quite a lot of stuff. So that's all gone now. So it's just all about the business of making the games now. So hopefully you found it just as accommodating or as easy as before.
Yes.
So
Good. Great.
Good
Lovely
stuff.
and cool in here on a hot day, so that was a good point.
Someone did ask if we have aircon, and you know what? We don't need it because it's actually. I'm actually quite cold, if I'm honest with you. But you were all right for the day, weren't you?
Yeah. I brought gilet, body warmer, scarf, hat,
all the stuff. So it's quite cool in here. So summertime it can get quite hot and bothered, but I think we'll be all right going forward. I've taken a load of photos from this game, so please go to the Facebook page when this game is released. The photos will be there for you to have a look at. Table was quite good. Contrast to the white. I love the way the Mordathan kind of blended into the battlefield as well, so that worked quite well. There's some really fantastic shots of kind of low down with models assaulting into others and some good wide out shots. So please have a look at those. You can follow both of these gentlemen on Instagram. So Tom, where can we find you?
My Instagram handle is whack.henry. That is WAAC.Henry.
Brilliant. Joseph?
Eater of Worlds, which he'll put about here.
Yeah. If I've done my job of
here,
it's somewhere there.
Yeah.
And of course, you can follow the channel on Instagram too. It's just at the 30k channel. I would love you to share this game and talk about it. Please tell your friends and get them to the 30kchannel.com website. Get them subscribed. It's $4.50 a month. And you get 5 games. You get Adeptus Titanicus, 1 Zone Mortalis, and 3 Six Before Age of Darkness. There are plans afoot to produce even more content as of May, June 2019. So hopefully you're going to get value for money. So many more games to come. Gents, thank you so much for your day. I really enjoyed today's game. It was just a seesaw of emotion, and I absolutely loved it. So thank you for your efforts.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
My pleasure. It's been a pleasure to have you here, and we will see you in the next game.